Hey everybody, I wanted to do a little follow-up on the post that I did yesterday about the somewhat drama that happened from my meme that I posted yesterday. And this morning I was kind of thinking about that whole thing and it kind of became really clear, and so I just need to speak this out loud and see if you guys agree or disagree with this. I think what I noticed the most is the difference came from those who are intuitive and follow their inside guts and those who don't know how to access their intuition, so they have to access outside sources for that information. And this morning, as I'm thinking about that, I'm like, that's what this was all about. And so I decided to post another little thing on Facebook that said, I want to make perfectly clear about this showdown yesterday. This is the difference between people who follow their intuition to get through life and those that have to access outside sources in order to get their information. And I said, people have paid me for years for me to tell them about them. And recently, my comment is, I can teach you how to access your own information. Nobody knows themselves better than they do. Yesterday was proof of those who know how to do that and those that do not. And so part of that post that I did today was, it's not my fault that you cannot access your intuition. It's not my fault that it's blocked. It's not my fault that you don't follow your intuition or the nudges or whatever when it's happening. And I had a lot of people pop up and say they agree. And so this thing from yesterday has become a conversation about intuition and using it and accessing it and knowing it's there and knowing that you're ignoring it. So if anything, maybe that is how we go about this differently, instead of, trying to, because a lot of people were throwing up facts and all of this stuff. And I'm like going, facts don't help because nobody trusts the facts that they are seeing. They're not trusting the facts that the news says. They're not trusting the facts that anybody is sending them. That has not made anything better. In fact, it's made it worse because everybody's fact is different than the next when they're getting it. So nobody believes anything, and they definitely don't believe anything that we're saying. If you come from a different direction about this being, my intuition tells me this, that, and the other, they cannot argue with your intuition. They can't say, you shouldn't feel that way. Your gut is wrong. The spidey senses on the back of your neck are wrong. They don't have a leg to stand on when you have that discussion with them. So instead of going at somebody, and maybe you're not even doing this anymore, this is just kind of me talking out loud, but if you get into that conversation, instead of trying to lay out all the facts, because we know facts are right, they're not. Intuition is where we are getting our information and the nudge and telling us what to do and what is coming and how to handle this. There are a lot of people out there that don't have access to that. There are a lot of people who have their intuition blocked. They ignore it. They don't believe it. They don't understand where it's coming from. And that's where they're at right now. So I'm sure a lot of you already know all of this, but I just needed to say that out loud because I kind of was questioning, like, what was yesterday all about? And now I feel like I know for my own purposes is, if I want to try to get into the correct, I'm like just lost my train of thought, the crevices in a rock. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, there was a word that I was going to say and it just disappeared on me. If I want to get in that way, in sort of any kind of conversation, I guess I'm going to have to go in the route of intuition over outside sources. Pretty hard to argue with. I mean, to be honest, somebody's got to argue about that. But I also wanted to say I did kind of reconnect with some of my physical tribe that's close and near me. A lot of them were or are in my doTERRA downline. You know, we've all been started reprogramming ourselves with the health industry back when I started selling oils back in 2012, and realizing that there were natural substances out there that could help you other than pharmaceuticals. And so I was able to reconnect with some of those people. And I also need to know who is in my corner, because I am in the city. I do not have the luxury of, moving out into the country where I don't have to be around anybody. That is not what I am supposed to be doing, because if it was, I'd have the money to go buy a farm in the middle of BFE, and I would be happy doing that. And that is not what's going to happen here. I've got to ground in where I'm at, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the people that are going to be coming at me. I need to know who I can trust and who I cannot. And yesterday helped me figure out that. The last thing I want to do is start talking to somebody that would rather slice my throat than help me out. So yesterday showed me a lot of stuff, all good. I'm very happy with how I handled myself. I didn't let them get me triggered, even though I triggered the crap out of all of them. And now again, I can use that word intuition. My intuition tells me, and I can start giving examples of why it is so important to access that. So I just thought I would throw that out there. Again, you guys probably already have all of that figured out, but I just needed to say it for those who might stumble upon this message and, need something to back them up. So have a great day. I'm going to eat lunch, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.